What's going on, Wrestling Universe? This is the Undisputed Champ Sports Podcast. I am your host, Preston, and I am joined here by none other than Thumbs Up Tommy. Say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody? Happy Rusev Day. Cheerio. Let's get into this predictions for NXT UK Takeover Blackpool.
Blackpool, the first NXT takeover by the UK division of NXT. We're going to start this thing off with the match between Travis Banks and Jordan Devlin, a.k.a. what Tommy like to call the Finn Balor knockoff. Who do you think is going to win this match?
Let me clarify something before I go into my prediction. When I say Finn Balor knockoff, I don't say it in it comes off in a disrespectful way, but I just look at, like, if you take one look at Jordan Devlin, you automatically think Finn Balor. Fun fact, Finn Balor trained him. But in any case,
you're not the only person who
like
said it either. I've seen other articles call him mini Finn Balor, things like that.
It's just like his look. Like, he's lean, ripped. He's got the what's it called? The slick back, spiky hair, and then they're both from Ireland. It's like the whole thing. And then he comes out with a little jacket, like not like a leather jacket like Finn, but he comes out with a tracksuit jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And his wrestling style, obviously, because Balor trained them, is very similar as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I understand. I know it's not disrespectful, but they're very similar. I definitely give that.
The key difference is Finn is a face, Jordan's a heel. So when I say Finn Balor knockoff, I say it in a way like, this is the closest thing that we will ever see on the WWE umbrella of Finn Balor if he were a heel, unless they decide to pull the trigger and turn Finn heel.
Unless we can call him a Prince Devitt knockoff, because when Finn was Prince Devitt, he was definitely a heel.
Yeah, because all around the world, New Japan and Ireland, like Finn was always a heel. It's just in WWE, he's been working a face style. But even so, like, some matches you could see that Finn he has a little bit of a heelish tendency. Like, he's kind of like low key throwing it out there.
Yeah, he's a little aggressive, but
he's a little more aggressive. And I'm like, I see you, Finn. I see you.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress.
We digress.
Yeah. My prediction for this match. Now, don't get me wrong. I think both of these gentlemen are phenomenal athletes.
This is gonna be a great match.
Pro wrestlers. This has the potential to steal the show. Honestly, Jordan and Banks, forget it. Like, these two can go instant classic given enough time. And at the end of the day, I mean, Jordan Devlin, if I'm not mistaken, is still undefeated, whereas Travis Banks has taken a couple of L's. I think Devlin's gonna win.
Yeah, I'm agree with you. I picked Jordan Devlin to win. I mean, for one, we saw what happened on NXT UK. Jordan Devlin tried to distract Travis Banks by coming in as Travis Banks was having a match with T-Bone. But I think if he tried to distract him, but Travis Banks ended up winning the match. But if the distraction worked and Travis Banks lost, then I would pick Travis Banks for this match to win. But I'm with you. I'm picking Jordan Devlin. I think he's going to win by nefarious means. He's going to do something heelish to cheat.
He's going to do something heelish to win. Like, not necessarily a low blow or something like that, but he's going to use his environment to his advantage. And, correcting myself, if I'm not mistaken, I think he actually does have one loss, and that was to Pete Dunne, I believe.
Yeah, that he did lose to Pete Dunne. You're right about that.
Yeah, that was a hell of a match. I would love to see him and Pete Dunne go at it again.
I agree. That would be a great match. So that's our picks. We both had the same pick.
By the way, congratulations to the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne. He's held on to your favorite title, Preston, for over 600 days.
Yes, if you guys didn't know, that's like probably my favorite title in WWE right now. That is a beautiful, prestigious title. They need to design more of their titles like that. It looks so amazing. So amazing.
Yes.
All right. So moving on to the next match, we have a no disqualification match between Dennis versus Dave Mastiff. What do you think?
Get it right. Bomber Dave Mastiff.
Bomber Dave Mastiff. You right about that. No disrespect to Dave. My fault,
yes,
DM.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, man, we don't want to get that big drop kick he does, man.
Absolutely not, man. That looks painful.
Bro, this man weighs over 300 pounds, and he can drop kick the fuck out of anybody. Like, seriously.
300, yeah.
Yeah, like in their first encounter, It was a pretty hard-hitting affair,
Mm-hmm.
which I knew, looking at both Eddie and Dave's styles, I knew it was going to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, Dave Mastiff picked up the win.
Mm-hmm.
So then, after that, you've seen in the past couple of weeks, it's been like backstage angles, like Eddie Dennis attacks him while he was having an interview and so on and so forth, to get this rematch.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if, and honestly, this is probably the one match on the card. I mean, granted, like, there's not much build-up for any of the matches, but this is probably the one out of all of them that has maybe, like, the least build-up.
Yeah.
But, like I said, like, if I'm using this as a measuring stick as to how good NXT UK takeovers are going to be, because you and I and Carmine have been watching NXT over on the US for quite a few years now, and we know the kind of product that they bring for a takeover. Even the least interesting match is a sleeper. Like, it's very good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm, just being their first encounter, that it was within the confines of a traditional wrestling match, and it was pretty good. I can't even lie. I enjoyed the first Mastiff Dennis match.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that this is going to be no DQ.
You thinking the same thing I'm thinking?
They're going to cut loose, and I think Eddie Dennis is going to win.
Man, same thing. I think this is going to be the sleeper match of the night, bro. This is going to be a hard hitting affair between these two. It's funny how Dave Mastiff is like very light spoken, but them drop kicks, like you said, man, they don't call him a bomber for nothing, man. He's 300 pounds. That would give you a drop kick that would kill you.
I think he's kind of taking a literal tone to what Teddy Roosevelt used to say: "Speak softly and carry a big stick."
That's exactly what he's doing, and I'm with you. I think he's gonna take. I think Eddie Dennis is gonna take the win, like you said, because Dave Mastiff took the first W. So I think they're gonna give one to Eddie, so they can balance it out and continue this feud. And this is probably one of my favorite feuds in NXT UK right now. It's just the hard hitting, just the brutal action that goes on in the ring. It's just
and mind
crazy.
you, they're not even fighting for the title.
This is all just personal.
This is personal, and because Eddie wants to prove that he's the real monster in NXT UK.
Yes.
Basically, they're fighting for the title of who's the monster of NXT UK.
And that's pretty. And I think that's pretty unique. Before we move to the next match, because they're trying to establish who is who in NXT UK, and I think this is a smart way to try to figure out who is the definitive monster. And I like it. I like it. The next match we have the NXT UK Tag Team Championship match between the Grizzled Young Vets, which are James Drake and Zach Gibson, versus Mustache Mountain, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate. Who do you think is going to win this match?
Interesting. First and foremost, let me say this. Liverpool's number one, Zach Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it with the Tommaso Ciampa impression. You suck at it.
Oh, what?
I look at him as a wannabe watered down Tommaso Ciampa. That's how I see Zach Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's great in the ring. I'm not saying he sucks. I'm just saying, like, his promos, the way he carries himself, like he's the shit and he doesn't need anybody's validation for it.
Yeah.
That has Tommaso Ciampa written all over it.
I remember the first time he cut his very first promo in NXT UK. This dude was like drenched. He was like sweating all over the mat. I'm like, yo, what is going on, man?
Bro. And then on top of that, they're both bald. They both have beards. Like, come on, really?
Well, you know what? I'm not gonna lie, but like 55% of WWE has that description, including Triple H. So, but I get where the comparison is coming from. I get
No. Correction. Triple H is not bald. He's shaved. There's a difference.
Okay, all right. I mean, if you want to do, I got you. I get that to you.
Oh, yeah.
but
anyway, like the way I look at it, and then it's like I said, like, because Zach Gibson's whole thing is that he's Liverpool's number one because he's from Liverpool, and he's planning to be the UK's number one, and soon enough, the number one in the world. Who does that sound like? The greatest sports entertainer of all time.
Yeah, I agree, but I'll play devil's advocate and say that wouldn't you want to be number one in the world when you're in like a wrestler? I would think, right?
I mean, anything you want to do, you should be shooting for the number one spot. But at the same time, I just feel like the way he carries himself, it just reminds me too much of Ciampa, and it's not in a good way. Like he's doing a bad job at impersonating Ciampa. He's basically Ciampa with a British accent.
Shout out to the people from Britain, y'all. I love y'all.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I love my people from Britain. You know, like I've met some people from there. They're great, but Zach Gibson, no. Anyway, I digress. Enough ranting about Zach Gibson and how he's Tommaso Ciampa 1.5. But yeah, in this match, think about it right now. The champions in NXT UK,
Mm-hmm.
Pete Dunne, Rhea
Mm-hmm.
Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
Rhea Ripley's a heel. Pete Dunne is a tweener.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think that they're going to go for a complete contrast and have the faces win, which is Mustache Mountain, Trent Seven and Tyler Bate, because they're straight up faces. And then on top of that, the crowd is heavily behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And even more so, imagine that. Bate and Seven as tag team champions and Dunn as the UK champion. British Strong Style's running that shit.
Okay. I'm actually gonna have to go in the opposite direction, and the reason why I'm gonna go with the grizzled young veterans, which is James Drake and Zach Gibson. I think they're gonna win this match, and the reason why I think they're gonna win this match, I can't really give it all the way because it's a part of it is a part of my prediction for the next two matches. So I'm just gonna leave it at that, and then I'll come back to this when we talk about the next two matches. So after that, we have the NXT UK Women's Championship between Rhea Ripley, which is Pete Dunne's twin sister, and the Maya Classic winner, Toni Storm. Wiggle, wiggle. Who do you think is going to win that match?
First of all, let me say Toni Storm is bae. But yeah, that's another thing. Honestly, as much as I love Toni Storm, I don't see her winning.
Okay.
Like, flat out. I just feel like they're going to give, especially since Rhea is the first champion, and rightfully so, I think that they should give her a pretty lengthy title run.
Okay. Okay.
She came up short in the Mae Young Classic 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this is their way of kind of compensating for her because they knew that she had something special. Otherwise, they wouldn't have her be the champion right now.
Right. Okay. Just to make things interesting, what I'm gonna do is actually once again go into the opposite direction, which I think Toni Storm is gonna win. Now, I don't disagree with you at all. Like maybe that can happen. NXT UK is pretty new. I don't know the algorithm of how they choose champions and stuff like that. I only can go by what they do over in WWE or whatever. But the only reason why, and I was gonna pick Ripley, but the only reason why I think that Toni Storm is gonna win, and I don't have all my confidence in this decision, is because after, let's say Toni Storm doesn't win this match, what is Rhea Ripley gonna have to do after beating Toni Storm? Like, I don't know what she's gonna have. And Toni Storm, she had this whole thing with the internet and everything like that. So maybe they're gonna like kind of poo-poo her and give her the championship, even though she does deserve it. I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve it if she gets it, but those are the only reasons why I think she will win. I'm not 100% for it. If Rhea Ripley wins, I'm not surprised by that either. So that's just my opinion.
You're saying tomorrow it's gonna be Toni time.
It's gonna be Toni time tomorrow, I think. I think it's gonna be Toni time.
No, I mean, like I said, I'm sticking with my pick. I'm sticking with Rhea retaining.
Yeah, I'm not mad
I
at
think
that.
it will be good. Also, I mean, either way, I'm happy with whoever's champion because I like both of them.
Yeah.
But if Toni wins, then that opens up the possibility for other heels in NXT UK's women division to step up to the plate, like say Ginny.
Hello?
I would love to see Ginny and Toni Storm go at it again.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what Rhea Ripley will have to do after she wins, and they can continue this feud between these two, or do what you said, open it up for more heels as far as women in the women UK division. It'll make it a little bit more interesting.
Well,
But
Isla Dawn's another one to pay attention to, but she's not even on the card.
Yeah. But once that happened, maybe at some point. But if Rhea Ripley does win and they decided to move Dakota Kai over at some point, but I know they got that whole thing going on with them and, the 3-on-3 women thing going on in NXT right now. So I don't know if that's going to happen. So I don't know. Either way, it's cool to me.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll definitely see.
All right, so then our final match, the main event, is the match between Pete Dunne and Joe Coffey for the NXT UK Championship. Who do you think is going to win
Hold
this
on.
one?
Let me redo those intros because we gotta show some respect to these gentlemen.
Okay.
First of all, the challenger, the Iron King, Joe Coffey
Okay.
from Gallus,
Mm-hmm.
versus the reigning, defending, undisputed WWE NXT UK champion, the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne
Oh,
from
he's been
British
disputed.
Strong Style.
He's been disputed.
No,
No,
he's
no, I'm just
been
playing.
undisputed.
You're
He
right.
has
He
not
undisputed.
lost.
I'm just talking.
He's undisputed.
He's
Come on, man.
undisputed, man. That's my
Yeah,
guy though,
but
bro.
I'm
He gotta
saying,
stop biting
I'm
that
like,
belt
yo,
though.
get there. I'm like, yo, get there. What's it called? Get their nicknames in there, man. That shit sounds tough. The
You,
Iron King.
you're right, man. I never worked in the Roman Coliseum, so I'm not good at introducing people. Letting the people know where they're from and their history and what's in their DNA and ancestry.com. But you're right. I got to give these people more respect on their name when I'm introducing them. So, who do you think is going to win this match?
Let me just say this. First and foremost, it's gonna be a great match.
100%.
Definitely. Like, I think that in the end, there's going to be interference from both British Strong Style and Gallus,
Mm-hmm.
but I still think Pete Dunne is going to retain. Somehow,
Okay.
some way, Pete Dunne is going to retain because if you look at it, and this kind of brings me back to something that we talked about on Multiverse when we were doing that Lost Yu Yu Hakusho episode.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how we were describing Team Urameshi, how everybody's pretty much an anti-hero except for Kuwabara?
Yeah. It's pretty much Pete Dunne.
Yeah, that's basically, it's the reverse effect on British Strong Style.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's a babyface in Tyler Bate and Trent Seven, and then Pete Dunne is the tweener. He's the anti-hero because he's not exactly a goody two-shoes.
He's definitely not. Man, I'll have to agree with you with the result. I'm gonna say Pete Dunne is gonna win this and defend it. I don't know if they're gonna interfere or not, but it may happen. But the reason why I made this pick, and I know I said earlier today I would describe why the NXT UK Tag Team Championship match preferred to this, is because I don't feel like they're gonna have all of British Strong Style that have titles. I think they're gonna kind of mix it up a little bit, and because of what happened on NXT UK, whenever someone is standing tall at the end of it, most likely somebody's gonna lose. So I feel like somebody in British Strong Style is gonna lose, and I think that's going to be Mustache Mountain. I think Pete Dunne is gonna retain, but I feel like Joe Coffey may take it in the next takeover that they have. Not this one.
Assuming he's the one to challenge again.
If he is, if they have a great match, I don't see any reason why they won't do it again. But I don't know who else would probably face him. Maybe Jordan Devlin. Maybe I don't know.
I was just about to say that. Like, honestly, because first and foremost, Jordan Devlin's very well-spoken.
Mm-hmm.
So is Pete Dunne. Joe Coffey's well-spoken, too. Like, I like all of them. Like,
Yeah.
Easily, I mean, his brother's no slouch on the mic either, but easily
He ain't
from
no Joe
Gallus, easily from Gallus, Joe Coffey is the better speaker between him, Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang.
Yeah.
Which, hey, by the way, I still want to be a coffee boy.
I want to be a coffee brother too. Where do we sign up? What applications do we sign up at
For real.
Starbucks or do we sign up at Dunkin' Donuts? When do we become a coffee brother?
Man,
What do we do?
sign up. I want to sign up. I want to sign up to be part of Gallus, man. They're badass, I love their entrance music.
And Gallus sound like the most evilest supervillain ever. Like that's like the greatest name for a team. Gallus.
I want to be.
That's crazy.
And even before that, it sounded cool. The Coffee Brothers.
The Coffee Brothers sound cool too, man. The Coffee Brothers, like they sound like that family that be in the hood that you gotta worry about. Like, yo, don't be messing with them Coffee Brothers, bro. They be getting crazy, you know.
For real, man.
But that's what's up, man.
But definitely, yeah. No, on the real though, I think it's gonna be a great match, and like I said, I mean, Pete Dunne's gonna retain. Honestly, in these past couple of weeks. Because I remember originally when they announced the spoiler that it was going to be Dunne versus Coffey, I had said that I didn't feel like Coffey was well-spoken enough to replace Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
But he's just as good as Pete Dunne on the mic.
Yeah, just give him some time, though. some more
Exactly.
time.
Now, what I will say, I just feel like I think that Joe Coffey still needs a little bit of work in
Hmm.
order to, because mind you, Pete Dunne is not like he cuts these extensive promos. He's a man of few words,
Hmm.
but when he speaks, it's impactful.
Hmm.
It's just as impactful as when he hits the bitter end or the Xplex.
Yeah.
But I would say the one if they're gonna continue with a tweener heel champion, the one to usurp Pete Dunne from the throne in my eyes is gonna be Jordan Devlin.
I can see that. I mean, this is a new division, and I mean, because I can't tell who's gonna do what. But if it is Jordan Devlin, I'm not mad at that at all. I really am. I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah, because like from the faces, I don't really see like who could beat Pete Dunne from the faces. I really
Yeah,
don't.
it don't seem like they're even equipped to actually be a champion yet. They all seem a little. I don't want to call them
Like they're
green.
kind of working on themselves.
Yeah, like they haven't really figured out what direction they want to go with either characters, or they haven't given them enough to kind of show their characters. And most that's why you see most of them
Yeah,
always in these 3-on-3 tag team matches against Gallus or just some random stuff. You never see them really just doing
exactly.
their own thing. But I agree, it could be Jordan Devlin.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that if they're planning on getting the belt off of Dunn anytime soon, if it's like in the next couple of months, Jordan Devlin's the best way to go. And like, plus he even has a badass nickname, the Irish Ace.
The Irish Ace, that is cold. I like that.
Yeah, that's fire,
I don't
dog.
know what it
I
means, but it
can't.
sounds amazing.
No, it's like a deck of cards. Something about the Ace. The
Like the best
Ace is
card.
the number one card. Yeah, because
Well,
what's his name? What's his name? Wolfgang calls himself like the last king of Scotland.
hmm
What's his name? Joe Coffey calls himself the Iron King.
hmm
It's like a lot of people calling themselves king. Jordan Devlin's like, fuck that. I'm not a king. I'm an ace.
yeah, because they're basing off cards. So when I heard Iron King, I'm thinking of I don't know, like Tekken or something like
I'm
that.
thinking some like Tekken or Yu-Gi-Oh shit.
Yeah, and then I hear Last King of Scotland, I'm thinking of Forrest Whitaker because that's the movie that he was in. So I get it though. They all trying to crown themselves. That's cool. That's whatever. But I think this is
Yeah.
gonna be a great pay per view.
See, hey, you know what? To throw a little hip hop in there, shout out to Jordan Devlin because he's calling himself the Irish Ace. He's talking about, I'm making a reference to that old Dr. Dre song, Still Dre. He's niggas want to be the king, but the motherfucking Ace is back.
Oh, okay. He probably could use that line. I mean, I would.
Exactly.
There's some parts he might want to take out, but
Hey, hey, Jordan Devlin, if you're listening, run with that. Be like, everybody trying to be a king, but the Ace is here.
this dude came out dressed as Travis Banks. That dude is crazy. That was crazy.
Nah, man. No, Jordan Devlin's a trip though. Like I'm looking forward to seeing what else he does. And like I said, honestly I feel like tomorrow's show is going to be great because if you look at the participants in these matches,
Hmm.
they pretty much, except for a couple of people that obviously they just didn't have space for on the card,
Hmm.
they pretty much have the cream of the crop for NXT UK on the first show.
And that 6-man tag match was amazing.
Yes, yes. Gallus versus British Strong Style was amazing.
It was an
Now,
amazing
if you're not
match.
watching NXT UK, watch it. I know it's tough because you got Raw, SmackDown, 205, NXT,
The
now
accents.
NXT UK. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like I know it's tough, but it's worth the watch. Trust me.
Yeah, definitely.
Like if you're a fan of no nonsense, just beat them down strong style, you'll love it.
Absolutely. I agree. All right, so that pretty much wraps up our predictions for NXT UK Blackpool uh coming on
Take over
tomorrow.
Blackpool.
Takeover Blackpool. I'm sorry. You guys make sure you check it out on WWE Network. I don't know what time it is in you guys' direction, so you guys might want to Google that. But looks like we got a good
Yeah.
card going on for tomorrow. It's gonna be
Well, I can tell you right now, for me, it's 2 p.m. because I'm on the East Coast, so that's 1 o'clock your time.
yeah, and then that's what
Um,
12 over on the West
that's
Coast.
12 over on the no 12 over in Mountain Time and 11 on the West Coast.
Oh, they get it early. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
they get it real early.
All right, shout out if you guys are from the United Kingdom. If you guys are listening to us, shout out. Please hit the subscribe button. Let us know what you guys think. If you guys agree or disagree with us, do you guys feel like Jordan Devlin should be the next one to take the title from Pete Dunne, or should this Joe Coffey and Pete Dunne keeps going? Let us know. We're from America. We don't know much about what's going on over there. We're being acclimated to this thing, and thank you guys for listening.
So. Yes, and to whoever commented a month or two ago that we should start reviewing NXT UK,
you got it.
Yeah, this is the first one that we're starting. Like, I wanted to see the storylines develop a little bit. I know I was asking Preston when are we going to start covering it, because that way, I can try to allocate time in my week, to watch it and be ready for that. But definitely, I feel like this was the right time to start talking about NXT UK on Undisputed Champs, because it's coming into their first pay-per-view.
Yeah, I agree.
The storylines are set.
And the storylines didn't have any weight in it before. I don't want to just say we had 5 good matches, 1 bad match, and then that's the end of the podcast. Like, I want to have a little bit more to add to it. And I think we got it. We finally got it. And I think Blackpool is going to add a lot more to it. We'll have a lot more to talk about. But
I can't wait to do that review.
Yeah, I definitely can't either. I know it's going to be really good. But for you guys...
it hasn't even happened yet, and I'm just like, come on, let these hours pass, man.
I just like seeing something brand new. Like, we're going to get to watch the very first takeover for UK, NXT. Like, we never thought we'd be watching something like this when we were kids. But thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it. I know I'm repeating the same thing over. Please hit the subscribe button. Continue to listen to our podcast, even for the Raw, SmackDown. Comment, share, and also check out our podcast for the Raw, SmackDown, NXT 205 review. Let us know what you guys think. Please tell your friends about us. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys for listening. You guys have a good day.
Peace.